Hello there, I'm Raymond Goh and you're watching Nightline. Our headlines today. Foreign Minister to lead team to revise raw water price with Singapore, says Prime Minister. And Malaysians detained in Cambodia allegedly conned by local syndicate, claims Sarawak Welfare Minister. Good morning. The prices of goods must change with the times, says the Prime Minister. Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad said this when he referred to the price of Malaysian raw water sold to Singapore, which has remained unchanged since 1962. The issue relating to the water deal resurfaced in the middle of last year when Tun Dr. Mahathir criticized the price of raw water sold to Singapore as unreasonable and said that he planned to renegotiate the terms of the deal. The Prime Minister said that the price of raw water sold to the island republic has remained at 3 cents per 1,000 gallons since the agreement was signed in 1962.
Kita jual air kita 1,000 gallon, dapat 3 sen, nak beli nasi lemak pun tak boleh. Itulah keadaan apabila harga dan nilai tidak ditingkatkan. Sebaliknya semua barangan lain semuanya meningkat harga. Hakikat ini tidak boleh dielakkan oleh sesiapa. Di mana saja di dunia ini, harga barangan tetap akan meningkat.
The Prime Minister also said that the Foreign Minister, Datuk Saifuddin Abdullah, will lead a group of officials for the revision of raw water prices sold to Singapore.
Hari ini kita belanja, kita tak cakap pasal millionaire lagi, kita cakap pasal billionaire. Kerana pendapatan manusia sudah meningkat lebih tinggi. Jadi kalau kita nak kira harga yang ditentukan pada tahun 1926 masih kekal sehingga tahun 3000, another one millennium lagi, adakah menasabah? Saya ingat tak menasabah. Sampai bila?
The water deal, which ends in 2061, would entitle Singapore to receive up to 250 million gallons a day of raw water from Sungai Johor. In another development, the Prime Minister on Sunday gave the assurance that the government will build 1 million affordable homes and low-cost houses within a period of 10 years. Tun Dr. Mahathir said although the government was facing various constraints in fulfilling the pledge, it would still be implemented to help the less affordable group, especially those in the B40 group, with the cooperation of the private sector.
Hasrat kita mencapai 1 juta dalam 10 tahun. Kadang-kadang 1 tahun tu lebih, kadang-kadang kurang. Tapi akhirnya kita harap kita dapat capai 1 bilion rumah.
The Prime Minister was speaking to the media after launching the National Community Policy to tackle social housing issues at the local community level, especially in low-cost stratified housing areas nationwide. He said the target can be achieved with the cooperation from the private sector. The government, he said, hoped that with the existence of the structured community and equipped with clubs that could be made as the medium to channel the problems of the local community to the elected representatives and equipped with workshops to enable them to be involved in business, will also develop the economy of the local community. Tun Dr. Mahathir added that the policy also encouraged people in the community to be involved in the small and medium industry with a more structured marketing aspect. The price for 1 unit of the affordable home is below 300,000 ringgit and fixed according to the locality. On another matter, Tun Dr. Mahathir said the candidate factor is what made PAS decide if it was going to support UMNO in the Semenyih by-election. The Prime Minister pointed out that previously PAS had supported UMNO in the Pahang parliamentary seat by-election because Pakatan Harapan's candidate came from the DAP. Tun Dr. Mahathir, who on Saturday disclosed that PAS was not working with UMNO in the Semenyih by-election in Selangor, explained to the media as to why it was not the case in the Cameron Highlands by-election.
Saya cuma terpaksa kata yang benar. Hadi Taqiyuddin dan Samsuri mengaku bahawa mereka tidak akan sokong UMNO pada kali ini kerana yang melawan dengan UMNO kali ini bukanlah daripada parti DAP. Mereka sokong dulu kerana calonnya datang daripada DAP. Sebab itu mereka sokong UMNO. Kali ini UMNO bukan melawan dengan DAP, lawan dengan Bersatu.
The Prime Minister said he was forced to speak up on what really happened after he heard their denials. When asked regarding a written admission by the past president on not supporting UMNO, the Premier said it was a letter handed over to him containing the admission signed by Datuk Taqiyuddin Hassan. Meanwhile, PAS has denied Tun Dr. Mahathir's claim that the party would not support UMNO in the ongoing Semenyih by-election campaign. Its Secretary-General, Datuk Taqiyuddin Hassan, said PAS will be consistent in its cooperation with UMNO in the by-election, adding that the level of support will be different from the one it had accorded the Barisan Nasional in the recent Cameron Highlands parliamentary by-election. He said the decision was in line with the party's struggle of upholding Islam and the Malays while maintaining its relations with UMNO on the basis of unity and solidarity as the opposition.
Tidak ada apa-apa perakuan bertulis berkaitan pilihan raya kecil Semenyih. Hanya dibincangkan secara lisan sahaja antara Yang Berhormat Tun dan juga Yang Berhormat Presiden PAS. Tidak ada perakuan atau apa-apa surat bertulis with regard to PRK Semenyih. Nothing at all. Tak ada langsung. Secara lisan ada, disentuh oleh Tun dan juga disentuh oleh Presiden.
Secara lisan menyatakan tidak akan menyokong.
Itu tidak ada. Kita menyatakan kita tidak menyertai dan kita tahap penyertaan kita di dalam PRK Semenyih berbeza dengan tahap penyertaan serta komitmen kita dalam PRK Cameron Highland. Sebagaimana yang kita semua tahulah di Cameron Highland.
Datuk, jadi
ya. The degree of commitment, maknanya tahap penyertaan kita, penglibatan kita dan juga arahan-arahan kita adalah tidak sama dengan PRK Cameron Highland.
Datuk Taqiyuddin said the written undertaking mentioned by Tun Dr. Mahathir recently was a sample to show PAS's support for Tun Dr. Mahathir on the basis of looking after the interest of religion, nation and race until the 15th general election. He also said PAS's machinery was already active in Semenyih with its youth and Muslimat wings already on the ground. Later on Sunday night, Tun Dr. Mahathir reminded Malaysians to embrace tolerance as it is a key to a peaceful and developed nation. Speaking at the national level Chinese New Year Open House 2019 in Seremban, Negeri Sembilan, he said, without tolerance, any country is bound to face riots, wars and bloodshed.
Inilah sifat yang perlu ada dalam negara kita. Dan jika sifat ini berada di seluruh dunia, maka percayalah dunia kita akan menjadi lebih aman daripada sekarang ini. Sekarang ini terdapat rusuhan.
Also present was his wife Tun Dr. Siti Hasmah Muhammad Ali. Earlier, the couple arrived at the venue at 8:45 p.m. and were welcomed by, among others, Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Wan Azizah Wan Ismail and Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng. Tun Dr. Mahathir then officiated the open house, which was also attended by thousands of people from 6 p.m. Apart from being served with various types of Malaysian traditional dishes and delicacies, the guests were also entertained by the traditional 24-season drum performance and lion dance by the world champion, the Mua Lion Dance Troupe. All 47 Malaysians previously detained at the Bantiai Mien Che provincial prison in Cambodia have returned home. In Sarawak, the arrival of 43 of the 47 at the Kuching International Airport was a scene of joy and gratitude, especially for the victims' family members. The former detainees arrived in a specially chartered flight at about 2:15 p.m. direct from the Siem Reap International Airport. Accompanying them on the flight was State Minister of Welfare, Community Wellbeing, Women, Family and Childhood Department, Datuk Sri Fatimah Abdullah, and Santubong MP, Datuk Sri Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jaafar. Datuk Sri Fatimah claimed a syndicate headed by a local mastermind is believed to have scammed the 47 Malaysians. She said it is up to the victims to lodge reports with the police for an investigation to be carried out against the mastermind.
When we ask them, the answer is everything is through WeChat. The travel tickets that they have, everything through WeChat. Tawaran gaji, juga through WeChat. So when we ask them apa tarikannya, they offer basic $1,000 US.
The 47 Malaysians were ordered to be freed by Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Sen on February 15th after it was found that they were human trafficking victims. The release follows a series of negotiations between both governments coordinated by Wisma Putra. The Malaysians aged between 19 and 44 were all arrested by the Bantai Mien Che District Police in Poi Pet on December 11th when the authorities raided a two-story house on suspicion of being involved in illegal online gaming. The victims had gone to Cambodia after being promised high-paying jobs for 3 months. The Malaysian embassy in Phnom Penh was informed of the arrests 17 days later, and embassy officials were later given access to the detainees at Bantiai Mien Che prison. Meanwhile, 4 other individuals released from prison in Cambodia, 3 from Selangor and 1 from Kuala Lumpur, safely arrived at the KLIA-2 at about 11:30 a.m. Yem Yok Fung, Muhammad Daud Shahrudin, Yap Yu Xiang, and Ng Shing Long appeared at the arrival hall with nothing except their clothes on their backs and were greeted by Foreign Ministry Secretary-General Datuk Sri Muhammad Shahrul Ikram Yaakob. All of the Malaysians who were previously detained were also thankful to be back home.
Dan terima kasih kepada semua yang membantu, kepada pihak Datuk Osman pun ada bantu saya, Encik Rozaimi dan menteri-menteri semua.
Following the incident, Malaysians are urged to take heed of what has happened and to not easily fall prey to job offers overseas that sound too good to be true.
Dan cuma nasihat saya maknanya bagi rakyat Malaysia terutama yang muda ni supaya lebih berhati-hatilah jika menerima peluang kerja daripada WeChat, daripada Facebook dan daripada social media.
A motorist was burned to death after the car he was driving crashed and caught fire at Ara Damansara in Petaling Jaya, Selangor early on Sunday. The victim was identified as a manager of a company in Ipoh, Perak, 29-year-old Vun Zilik. Police Chief ACP Muhammad Zani Chekdin said the driver lost control of his BMW car before crashing into a tree at 4:30 a.m. The fire and rescue department was alerted and its personnel arrived 15 minutes later to put out the blaze. However, the car with the driver still inside was completely razed. Vun's charred remains have been sent to the University Malaya Medical Centre for post-mortem. The case is being investigated under the Road Transport Act for reckless driving. Coming up next, body of passenger who fell off ferry found. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Wan Azizah Wan Ismail said she would get details from Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Datuk Sri Dr. Mujahid Yusof, on the issue of subsidy for successful appeal applicants and mahram to perform the Hajj pilgrimage. She said the matter would be reviewed once she received clarification from Datuk Sri Dr. Mujahid.
teliti ganda sebab saya belum lagi dapat perincian dan saya nak dapat daripada Menteri Agama, Kementerian Perdana Menteri, Jabatan Perdana Menteri, dan juga ni saya tak tahulah macam mana keperinciannya sebab saya baru je baca dalam press.
She was met after attending a Chinese New Year open house organized by the Wangsa Maju parliamentary constituency on Sunday. Recently, news claiming that individuals who were successful in their appeals and as mahram to perform the Hajj pilgrimage would not be eligible for the subsidy anymore went viral on social media. This was based on the reply posted by the Lembaga Tabung Haji on its official Facebook account. In his response, Datuk Sri Dr. Mujahid refuted the news and said the government had never issued such a statement on the abolition of the said subsidy. On the other hand, he said the subsidy allocation would be decided by Tabung Haji based on an individual's financial capability. After 3 days of search operation, the body of a Pulau Pinang ferry passenger who was believed to have fallen overboard last week was finally found at about 10 a.m. on Sunday. The remains of the male victim, whose identity has yet to be ascertained, were found floating fully clothed near the Swettenham jetty in Georgetown. State Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency MMEA Director Maritime Captain Hamizan Harun said the body was taken to the Batu Uban Marine Police Jetty before being sent to the Pulau Pinang Hospital for postmortem. Some personal items, RM1 and a mobile phone were found on the victim. Following the incident on Friday, a video of the drowning incident went viral. He was believed to have fallen overboard the vessel at about 9:20 a.m. near the Butterworth Ferry Terminal. In Sarawak, a lorry driver cheated death after the tanker lorry he was driving crashed before bursting into flames in Miri early on Sunday. The accident occurred at about 8:30 a.m. at Jalan Pesisir Pantai Miri, Bintulu. The tanker lorry, which was transporting about 30,000 litres of petrol, was believed to have caught fire after the vehicle overturned. Miri Fire and Rescue Department Chief Law Po Kiong said a distress call was received at about 8:33 a.m. and 10 firefighters as well as a fire engine and water tanker were deployed to put out the massive flames which engulfed the tanker lorry. It was understood that the lorry driver, 29-year-old Jerry Jawa, only suffered minor injuries and was sent to Miri Hospital for treatment. The cause of the accident is being investigated. Controversial blogger and UMNO Youth Exco Wan Muhammad Azri Wan Deris, or better known as Papa Gomo, was arrested at his home in Stapak to assist in the investigation of an assault incident involving Youth and Sports Minister Syed Sadiq Syed Abdul Rahman in Kajang on Saturday. He was brought to the Kajang District Police Headquarters to verify the young minister's claim that he was strangled by the blogger. Previously, Selangor Police Chief Dato' Nur Azam Jamaluddin had said that Papa Gomo was one of 2 individuals who had already been called up by police to assist in the probe on Syed Sadiq's assault case. Selangor Police managed to expose secret spaces and detained 29 women of various nationalities illegally working as GROs during an early morning raid in Subang Jaya. Selangor Police Anti-Vice, Gambling and Secret Societies Division D7, which conducted the 1:30 a.m. operation, said the foreigners from Thailand, China and Vietnam had abused their social visit passes. Police also found white substances believed to be drugs at the premises. All those detained, including 70 customers, were taken to the Subang Jaya Police Headquarters for further action. The remains of the 3 siblings who drowned while swimming in a fish pond near Baluran, Sabah on Saturday have been laid to rest at the Bukit Pangeran Cemetery in Sungai Sapi. In the 2 p.m. incident, the 3 boys, aged 6, 8 and 10 respectively, had gone with some friends to the pond located about 200 meters from their house at Kampung Bintang Mas. All 3 were pronounced dead on arrival at the Telupit Health Clinic. When we come back, fire sweeps through Bangladesh slum, killing 9. Stay with us. Macam All right, we're back now with the foreign news. At least 9 people were killed while more than 50 others were injured after a fire gutted more than 200 slum houses in the Bangladeshi port of Chittagong on Sunday. According to authorities, the blaze broke out at around 3:30 a.m. local time and raced through the district of bamboo, tin and tarpaulin homes while residents were asleep. It is reported that the fire may have been caused by a short circuit. The extent of total damage, however, could not be ascertained immediately. And an investigation into the incident is now underway. Bangladesh is an impoverished country where safety regulations are rarely followed and accidents have killed hundreds every year. In France, thousands of yellow vest protesters gathered in the capital on the 14th consecutive weekend of the movement aimed at shaking up French President Emmanuel Macron's government on Sunday morning. A ministry statement said that at least 5,000 people protested in Paris and over 40,000 turned out across the country. The demonstration marked the 3-month anniversary of the movement, and for the first time, the protesters have assembled on a Sunday, in addition to the now usual Saturday protest. Protesters also took to the streets by blocking traffic in Paris's roadways and provoking clashes with police on Saturday. Meanwhile, Paris authorities have launched an investigation into anti-Semitic remarks hurled at a noted philosopher during a yellow vest protest. Since November 17th last year, the movement has grown into a series of demonstrations calling for the president's resignation after the government proposed a fuel tax hike. Still to come on Nightline, Uni KL, 1 match away from winning Premier Division. Details up next. Sports football now. Cambodian international Chan Vatanaka scored his first goal for PKNS as his side thrashed their much more decorated host Selangor FA 4-0 in Shah Alam Sunday night. PKNS completely dominated the first 45 minutes, with Vatanaka and Argentine winger Gabriel Guerra causing B. Satyanathan's side all kinds of problems defensively. The only surprise was that the halftime score was only 1-0 to the visitors, courtesy of Nick Sirat's powerful header following a Vatanaka corner on 27 minutes. Just 4 minutes into the second half, Liberian striker Kapar Sherman increased PKNS's lead. Vatanaka added PKNS's third goal in the 79th minute before Colombian Romel Morales completed a rout in injury time. On to hockey now. University Kuala Lumpur Uni KL are just 1 match away from winning the Premier Division of the Malaysia Hockey League after thrashing basement side Norin Safi Kedah Hockey 6-1 at the USM Hockey Stadium in Pulau Pinang on Sunday. Uni KL stormed into a 2-0 lead through goals by Izwan Firdaus Ahmad Tajuddin in the 13th minute and Martin Peter Havinger in the 28th minute. although Noreen Safi reduced the deficit through Rahul Hesekesa Taichana Murati 3 minutes later, Uni KL hit back with a brace each from Muhammad Razi Abdul Rahim and Faridzo Afiq Muhammad. Uni KL are sitting pretty at the top of the table with 28 points from 10 matches, 1 point more than the nearest challenger, Tenaga Nasional Berhad TNB. However, Uni KL have 2 matches in hand, while TNB have only 1 match left to play. So, if Uni KL beat Maybank at the Tunku Abdullah Hockey Stadium in Bangi on February 20th, they will be able to seal the title with 1 game to spare. Meanwhile, TNB also won big, trouncing Maybank 7-2 at the Tunku Abdullah Hockey Stadium in Bangi. In the U.S., a dramatic video has surfaced online showing a 47-vehicle pileup unfolding on a snowy interstate southeast of Kansas City. At least 1 person was killed and dozens others were injured in the accident. Let's take a look as we wrap up Nightline this time around. With that, I'm Raymond Goh. Thank you for watching.